This is the Big Drive and Department of Social Development Ambassador Spouses and Business Women Luncheon, and we would bid all of you a warm and friendly welcome. We trust you're going to have a wonderful time with us. However, what I would like to do before we do anything is to very briefly bring up the Deputy Minister of Social Development, the Honourable Hendrietta Bogopane-Zulu.
We're doing this luncheon as we celebrate Women's Month. We know that gender-based violence has become a presidential priority. So today we're raising the bar and actually making sure that South Africans understand the relationship between cancer and gender-based violence, because that connection is not made. And we will never get to zero or to a reasonable number of gender-based violence unless we pay attention to breast cancer, to cervical cancer, to testicular cancer, to prostate cancer.
With Hendrietta, it goes without saying, I wouldn't be standing here today if it wasn't for you, and as you mentioned earlier, Governor. Future Life, our guest speakers today, Deshni Naidu, Governor, Jenna Clifford, Samantha Stewart, four extremely busy businesswomen who've given up their morning. I know that you will all take a strong message home with you today.
And as women, it's so important, wherever you are, to pull women up and encourage women that you're there for a purpose and you're going to survive being in an industry full of men as well. So thank you.
Oh, you can do better than that.
Thank you. Thank you, Nolene and the team, for this opportunity to talk about the wonderful work that Pink Drive does and enables us in business to do more with regards to business with purpose.
I think the great work that Nolene has done with a great team, I must just say, you girls are the reason, largely, that this is successful. Because in charities, it mainly takes women. Women have empath. But may I remind you, ladies and gentlemen, women own less than 1% of the world's equity. 1%. We occupy just over 50% of the global populace, but we are still unseen.
Putting on an event such as this is not an easy feat, especially if you ask for everything for free. So, Dipani Bag for the sponsorship of the venue and the catering, which you'll enjoy later. Our program director, Arnold Geertz. Arnie, you're always there when we need you. Angel Heart Gin, I hope you all had a little gin taster before you came in. Biosense, Cadbury, Coca-Cola, Craig Owen Photography. Craig, I'm so glad you remembered to come today, because you forgot last week.
The intention for us, it's about making sure South African women access services that they normally would wait for a long time to get. And today we're hosting the spouses of ambassadors, because when they come to our country, it's everything about the ambassador themselves, but the woman behind or the spouse behind the ambassador is never seen or celebrated, and they do a lot of charity work. So we want to tap into the charity work that they do so that we're able to direct the charity work that they do. We are able to say to them, you could do this so that there is sustainability. And that is the reason why social development is reaching out. We're only not looking out for Pink Drive as an NPO to be supported, but we're also looking at how do we bring in all our other programs. For an example, Vadante is going to be building 4,000 ECDs. So instead of building 4,000 ECDs, we are going to say renovate 4,000 ECDs that are not compliant so that they are able to access government resources. So it's kind of that which we are trying to do. And as we meet and talk to the ambassadors, including their spouses, the truck behind us is a truck that was built for 10 million rand by the government and the people of Japan. And they heard our plea and they said, we believe in the program, Deputy Minister, and we are going to support the program. And they made sure that the truck behind us is built. Once they've built the truck, Vertec, as the service provider of the mammography units, have donated the units and said we will put in the mammography, and we do have radiographers that report on the truck irrespective of where the truck is. And a lot of those that report on the truck are radiographers that work for private companies like your Netcare, your MediaHealth. So we try and make sure that everybody tries to bring their bit, whether it's in kind, whether it's financially. We make sure that women are saved so that we are able, as a department, to support the families and keep them together because they assist us with a lot of the social ills. So today was about reaching out. It's a luncheon as we celebrate Women's Month, but we also want to celebrate the wives of the ambassadors and to begin to build that partnership so that we can tap into the charity work that they do in South Africa.
Well, as a Department of Health, we are a partner to Pink Drive. As you know, we have the primary responsibility on behalf of government to provide health services to all the people of South Africa. Now, we can't do that alone, so we always welcome private contributors, NGOs like Pink Drive, who are doing a magnificent work covering in some of the areas where, as a government, we are not able to reach everybody. As you know, cancer is a major challenge and it's been growing across, in terms of breast cancer, in terms of cervical cancer, on the men, prostate cancer. So we work with Pink Drive wherever possible. In a number of areas, they would screen people, and then where they find that there's an indication that there might be a sign that something is not right, those people then get referred to our facilities so that further tests can be done. And ultimately, if a positive, finding is made on a particular cancer, then the treatment can be undertaken. So wherever they are busy with screening, they always get in touch with our health facilities so that there can be a collaboration between Pink Drive and our health facilities. So that's essentially, how we work with them, and with them, we see them really as a very important partner in the fight against cancer.
Far too many women and men are succumbing to cancer. And bottom line is, what that does is it puts a bigger burden on social development because more orphans are left behind. So we are here to help prolong a life and to keep families together. We celebrated our 10th birthday on the 8th of March this year, and we will be here as long as we've got funds. Sadly, we don't get any funding from the South African government, but we have received, thanks to the Deputy Minister of Social Development, opening other doors into other governments, where we received a substantial amount, which actually built this truck behind me, at a cost of 10 million rand from the Japanese government. And we are eternally grateful to them. So we're here to stay, we're not going anywhere, and ideally, and our priority is obviously the South African men and women, but is to take what we've done and developed in South Africa and take it across borders. Because mobile is the way to go, because you can reach so many more people.
Nolene, just one more thing just before we let you go. What would you say to those people who are afraid actually to come and test? What would you say to them? How would you encourage them to actually do it?
I encourage every single person. There's nothing to be scared of. You know what? What we do from an education point of view is teach you how to look after your own body. Look for signs and symptoms and changes well in advance of actually even needing to go onto the mobile track. So education, like in education, whether it's from grade 1 to when you finish school or you finish university, education is the key word.